Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tea Time with Tasha. I'm Assemblymember Tasha Berner, and I have the honor of representing the coast of San Diego in the State Assembly. And with me here today, I'm very lucky to have my colleague from the Silicon Valley and co-chair of the California Legislative Technology and Innovation Caucus, Patrick Ahrens. Welcome, Patrick.
Thank you so much, Tasha. I've heard so much about this podcast. I know that I've been on the wait list since I got elected a year and a half ago, and you know, I knew someday it would be my turn. So
and today is your day for tea. May I pour you some?
Please. And I just want to say, Tasha, custom-made Tasha Tea Time with Tasha tea mugs. I mean, this is it. Anything if not on brand. We're on brand today.
It's on brand. And there's nothing like a good cup of tea, right?
That's right.
I think, I'm a very big coffee person, but I find
drinking the tea and spilling the tea today on the podcast.
Yeah, I had to learn spilling the tea. I had to learn that. I'm a little older than you. But Patrick, you are a native of Silicon Valley, and that's such, there are shows and movies and all this myths and culture around Silicon Valley. What was it like growing up there?
Well, it's always been a really amazing place to be, to have a job, to grow up there, to be around the titans of industry and technology in biotech, in pharma and life sciences. I mean, the type of innovation and advancement in these fields are incredible. I mean, they're curing cancer in Silicon Valley and the Bay Area. They're working on the technology that we all use and have in our pockets. And to be around that, to go to some of the best public schools have been an incredible opportunity for me as someone who struggled with housing insecurity, homelessness, food insecurity intermittently throughout my life growing up in Silicon Valley. It was difficult to be poor in a rich area, but I was the beneficiary of a lot of help and guidance from educators, from friends, and just being around and going to excellent public schools, which we need to keep funding and reinvesting in the legislature, gave me that opportunity.
Yeah. Well, you talked about pockets. I don't have pockets. You're a man, you have pockets. Whenever you say pockets to a woman, we freak out because we never have pockets.
Fair enough.
But tell me about little kid Patrick growing up, because I think you said it really well, growing up poor in a really wealthy area. How has that shaped how you are as a legislator?
Yeah, I think that it helps inform our why we started this work and why we ran for office. And it helps inform the core work that you want to do in the legislature. I know that you came into office with your lived experience and representing your district, which is unique, beautiful part of California, that not everything that we do is a one-size-fits-all approach to policy. California is the fourth largest economy in the world. We have some of the most technological advancements in the world, and yet we're leaving a lot of people behind. And I just feel very strongly that, I'm trying to focus my work up here on helping people who are in my position get an opportunity, not a handout, just an opportunity to get ahead in their life, get an education that's affordable and accessible, and be able to have their piece of the California and American dream. And that's really homeownership. And that is the work that I'm focusing on here, is how do we get more people access to homeownership, and how do we rebuild our middle class and talk to our constituents and actually listen to them, because they're the ones that have to live with the realities of the affordability crisis every day. And we don't focus enough of that in Sacramento. At least our outcomes don't show that.
Yeah, I think that's accurate. I think outcomes don't show it because, when you figure out home ownership, I'm a renter, so no one looks at me representing the San Diego coast and thinks she's a renter. But people have complicated lives, and people make lots of choices that sometimes involve homeownership, and sometimes that's not a possibility. So when you figure that out, let me know. I've been working on it for a while.
Well, I'm a renter as well, and we need to do more to protect our renters from the volatility of the affordability crisis and the rise in all things. And that's also informing my decisions up here on housing policy.
So when we think about Silicon Valley, we all have like lots of stereotypes, right? What stereotypes do you think are more true, and what are things that you think like are not true at all? Like, I'm sure you go around the world. I've been with you on trips, and they're like, "Oh, Silicon Valley! Oh my God!" And everybody flocks to you. And they're like, "I was like, we have tech and biotech too in San Diego,
You
right?"
do. You have a vibrant
Yes, we
biotech,
do.
life-saving.
But you have the brand name Silicon Valley. So, what things do you think are like more true, and what things are less true when people have stereotypes?
Well, not everyone from Silicon Valley works in tech. Not everyone from Silicon Valley is doing well. There is probably more concentration of people who are doing well and millionaires in my district, and we also have some of the greatest need. We have students who are on 100% free reduced lunch.
Yeah.
We have some people who are double, tripling up on studios and one bedrooms, multi-generations living in the same room because the price of rent is one of the highest in the country. And yes, there are access to these high-paying jobs, but the cost of living is nowhere higher than it is in the tech suburbs of Silicon Valley. And it's risen dramatically. Look at the gas prices because of the foreign wars. And frankly, we need to be doing more to address that too in the legislature, and not just, be against, someone who we don't agree with. We have to also deliver what we can back at home. And I know that's something that you have a long track record on, Tasha, and I consider you a mentor in that regard, because you actually fight up here in Sacramento and you deliver for your district, and you have a long history of being able to do that.
Thank you for saying that. It's been 8 years, but there's a point when I turned 50 that I realized death is closer than birth, right? And then there's a point in the legislature where you realize terming out is closer than when you started. And when you get to that point, one of the things you look at is who's going to come afterwards and kind of carry on, what is it? Carry on the gauntlet. I'm not really good with idioms. It's the part of the SAT I didn't do well on. But carry on the legacy and keep up the good work. And so what do you think that you've done so far or you want to do that will have the biggest impact on students or working families in your district? Because I think you said it really well. People think about Silicon Valley and they think about tech and they think about high-paying jobs. They know it's expensive, but they forget not everybody is in tech. Not everybody has a high-paying job. What are the things that you're working on to address that kind of, for students, for working families in your district? What is your top priority bill this year?
Well, I think my big priority for my district is focusing and tackling on the housing affordability crisis. I have a bill that would create more housing by doing lot splits and codifying an existing law, SB 9, and clarifying it to make it easier to build. And that is also sort of the worst kept secret in Sacramento. It's not just always about coming up with your own brand new ideas. It's looking at the laws that are already on the books. Are they working? Are they implemented properly? Are they doing what we intended them to do? And there's not enough looking back and saying, what are we doing and is it working? Are the laws we passed actually helping people? And sometimes yes, and sometimes no in a really big way. And so that is a bill that helps codify and fix an existing one to make it work better. And I have 6 foster bill package to help improve our foster care system. I was in the foster care system, and we need to do more right by them because, by the way, when we help our foster kids, we're helping everyone in the community. When we help our foster kids get access to primary preventative health care, they not only do better, they are healthier, and they cost a lot less in the healthcare system early on than when something more acute happens. So literally in any way, we are helping people who are poor, helping people who are struggling in poverty. That's why I have an affordability agenda. We're helping everybody in our community. But my focus is also on backfilling some of the draconian CalFresh cuts by the federal government. And I serve on the budget committee as one of the only members of the budget committee in the Bay Area, I'm fighting for everyone in the Bay Area to try and make sure that our taxpayer dollars are not, yes, being used wisely, but also are these programs going the way in which we intended them to?
So I think you said a couple really important things. One, sometimes we don't look back and see what's working, what's not working. I think that's really important. I have this feeling that, especially on like the hot button issues that are very popular, we do one thing and we don't wait for that to work, and then we do the next thing, and then we're doing the next thing. And so you get this cacophony of bills and laws, and people are like, and then it gets even harder to parse out what parts are effective and what parts aren't. And then you said this other thing. What does the Patrick Ahrens, who is in foster care, what would that little you say about seeing you here in the Capitol on this podcast?
Well, I don't think he would believe that.
He'd probably make a joke.
Yeah, I think that I think he wouldn't believe it, and I think that same is true. We don't invest enough in our foster youth today, and there's a lot of people who can do amazing things with their lives and their careers, but they were dealt a bad hand at life, and all they need is one opportunity to have someone give them a lending hand up, whether it's helping them with tuition assistance to go to college. Many of them are the first in their families to go to college. Whether it's getting them that internship, that paid internship that leads them to a job, or someone like me who was given that opportunity and access to working in public service, falling in love with it, and seeing that we can go to work every day and identify problems and actually solve them. That's what we get to do if we apply, and that's frankly not what a lot of people who can go to work can get to do.
Yeah.
And so that is what our constituents want us to do. And so we need to focus more on that. And I'm excited to be partnering with you and everyone else in the legislature who want to do that as well.
Yeah, I think the other thing you said that's really important, because I say this all the time, you said foster youth, but I was thinking about kids generally. When we focus on children, even the people without children, society thrives. And yours might be even more poignant if you focus on foster children, foster youth. Everybody thrives, because when you focus on this and say, do people have food? Do they have housing? Do they have health care? Those are kind of the preconditions for communities to thrive, society to thrive.
Well, that's why I'm so proud that you and I are in the Children's Caucus together and fighting for that work, and how I authored a $500 million budget ask to help save our public hospitals in this budget. Estimated California is set to close 70 hospitals because of the federal government's cuts on H.R. 1, and that's not acceptable. I know that you and your constituents rely on these public hospitals, as do mine, and we need our supermajority to focus on, or anyone in a bipartisan fashion to focus on saving our public hospitals by prioritizing them in the state budget.
Yeah, I mean, that's very true. I would suspect Silicon Valley is similar to San Diego in that we're lucky that we have multiple hospital systems. And when my public hospitals come to me and they're like, well, we're worried about this, or we're worried about this, it was like, okay, yeah, we should be worried. We should be worried because the cuts with H.R. 1 are going to be devastating to our communities and to our hospitals. But then there are parts of the state where you have to drive 4 hours to give birth. And when I remind people of that, one, it's this like two-sided coin of, one, being grateful for what we have, but also knowing that it's fragile, right? It's those two sides. But we've gone kind of deep here, so let's take it up to a little bit lighter thing, because I could always go deep on things. When you need a break and you're in your district and you need to get away from policy, what is your go-to spot?
Well, I think a lot of people don't know is we have some amazing community colleges and universities in my district, and they have great environmental centers where we have redwoods and a waterfall.
I did
and
not know that.
Biodiversity. Actually, De Anza College, my alma mater, De Anza Community College, and one of the best transfer community colleges in the state to the UC, has a wildlife Cheeseman Environmental Studies area where our students can be educated in the first LEED Platinum building at a community college in the country and learn from some of the top instructors, educating them on environmental stewardship and environmental science, and just a real hands-on approach. And it's just a really peaceful place to go and take a walk. And we go around campus. We just installed a beach volleyball that we're offering, and as well as an array of award-winning athletic programs that you can go. And so I really like supporting our local sports teams at my alma mater at De Anza College and Foothill, who are consistently winning in football. And so it's just been incredible to see some of these students, because many of them, by the way, are also the first in their families to go to college. And we're giving them these opportunities, but we need to protect them, because as you know, these issues and these budgets for these programs for these students are won and fought for every single budget cycle.
Yeah, they are. They are. But what I heard was you watch sports ball at your local community college, and you like to take nature walks.
Yeah.
I think the nature walks are really important.
All right.
I'm not sure about the sports ball.
We'll have you join us for one.
Yeah, you'll have to teach me. You'll have to teach me how it works. So rapid fire. We're going to close out rapid fire. Early bird or night owl?
Early bird, definitely. But I don't sleep in general, but definitely wake up early.
Yes, yes. Go-to restaurant in your district?
I would have to say Dynasty in Cupertino.
Okay.
Yep, it's one of the best Chinese food restaurants, or China Sticks in Santa Clara.
Okay. You'll have to take me to one of those places when I'm in your district next. Podcast or playlist?
Obviously, your podcast, which I listen to
10 points there, Patrick Ahrens.
on a regular basis. One of the best podcasts, one of the hottest upcoming podcasts in Sacramento, and soon, across the country.
Biggest pet peeve in meetings?
Biggest pet peeve in meetings is when people ask questions that aren't actually questions, but they're just long, droning comments. It's like you were supposed to ask a question.
That might be up there with mine too. I was like, get to the point, If you can solve one problem in the world right now with a flick of the pen, what would you do?
Child hunger.
Child hunger.
I think we live in one of the greatest economies of the world, and we still live in an economy and a community as wealthy as so many are. So many are still going hungry.
Yeah.
And I think that is a policy failure, and that's a moral failure and a stain on our country. Yeah. And we understand and can fix housing. It will take time. We can understand and fix
you only get one. Issues, you said child hunger.
But, child hunger is something we can fix overnight, and we have a policy refusal to do that.
Yeah. I think the idea as a mother of hungry children just breaks my heart.
Well, we can do more.
Yeah. We've been trying to do more, and Patrick, you and I are going to solve child hunger.
And you
I think a lot of our caucus members also.
And Tasha, you and the California legislature have a legacy on combating child hunger. Yeah. And we just need to continue to live up to that during the CalFresh cuts that the Trump administration is doing. Agree.
So thank you so much, Patrick Ahrens. You get to keep your cup. So you get a reminder of the up-and-coming hottest podcast in Sacramento. Feel free to like, subscribe, and share. And please let us know who you'd like to see on here next. Thank you for tuning in, and see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Tasha.
Thank you, Patrick.